Hi, I'm theciaellis, and welcome to This Grandma's Life. Alright, court was difficult the other day, and I still can't talk about it, but I'm getting away for a day or so, and I don't know where I'm going. I think I'm going west, and we're going to find out, and I've packed for a bear. I packed to go camping if I can, but there's rain all around us, so I may not be able to do that because I ain't going to go camping in the rain. So I may end up in a motel somewhere, but I'm just going to get away. I'm going to see if I can find a place to go hiking and check that out, or find some place to... I have a place in mind, and I'm hoping to get there, but it's a little bit far away. We'll just see how far I feel like driving. I don't know. We're going to find out. This is an adventure that is in the works, so let's get started. Well, I've been on the road for about 3 hours, and I decided not to drive through Oklahoma City, and I'm kind of glad, but you know how it is when you go around big cities, it gets kind of interesting. So I think I got off at Chandler and went south there and went to Purcell and come across, and now I am in Chickasha. And I'm mentioning this because this is real close to my old stomping grounds. I was raised in the Anadarko, Gracemont, Ouachita area, and you probably don't know where that is because it's middle of nowhere. But it was an interesting drive. The only thing is, I kind of feel bad is because I saw so many cool things driving here. But if you're on a 2-lane road with no shoulder and traffic going both ways, you really can't stop to take pictures. And one thing I saw was somebody had taken an old VW Bug and put huge spider legs on it, which basically were to scale of the size of the vehicle, and it was out sitting out in front of this building. I don't know what it was, but it was kind of interesting looking. And then I was always taken back. Well, of course, I love the spring, and I'm taken back by all the baby calves that are being born. But also you see, because this is basically cattle country, there's great big, and there were horse ranches and cattle ranches and great big beautiful houses, but then right across the street there'd be something old and dilapidated, and I don't know, it's just a nice mixture. It was a good drive. I just couldn't show it to you too much, but we're getting closer to where I want to go. I don't know if it's going to be on this particular video or not. I'm going to go to the Wichita Mountains. I think it's what's called Wildlife Park. I may make that a separate video. We'll find out. But that's the direction I'm going right now, and we'll see how it goes. I believe I'm getting near my destination. Okay, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but it is very windy. It's been very windy all day long. I just got notification a while ago that even in the area I'm in, we're under a tornado watch and a severe thunderstorm watch, I think, too. But the GPS or Google Maps said I had another 8 miles to go, but now I'm all of a sudden here at the Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge. I just passed the aquarium. So I'm going to stop and look at these maps, and I'm going to look. They said there's a map here. There's the things for me to study, and I'll look at them, and maybe I can get some things in today. And I'm hopefully, I know it's supposed to rain overnight and stuff, and then I think it's supposed to be just cooler but dry tomorrow. So maybe I can take in some stuff tomorrow. So we're here. Let's check it out. And now that I'm not driving and bouncing all over the place, here's what I kept trying to show you from the road. And I don't know, it looks like there's just a valley out. Oh, there's a lake over there. This is interesting. I think this is what I was wanting to look at tomorrow. There's a Mount Scott roadway, and I think that's where you can see the bison. There's a visitor center, and then there's a Elmer Thomas accessible trail for hiking. Well, that's a walk. And then you can do the Jed Johnson Tower Trail for hiking. I believe this is what I want to do tomorrow. So now I think what we'll just do today is just kind of drive around and see what else we have. Because there's other things you can do. If you have 4 hours, you can just kayak, hike, walk somewhere else. In a full day, go fishing, kayak, hike, and bike, and hike. Okay. Okay, I'm telling you this inside because the wind definitely is big. But I want to go out here. Let's see if I can show you a little bit better. There's a little pier out here with benches on it. So I get the feeling what I'm going to have to do is stuff that's really windy and not talk, and just put this to music, and then I'll just show you what we got around here. Okay, guys, I saw a road that says Mount Scott this way, and I thought, okay, cool, we'll drive around. That hill that I've been kept trying to show you, this is Mount Scott. It goes to the top, and I'm at the top now, but there were several places to turn off and look, and so the view up here is fabulous. So I'm going to give you some views from up here, and I may stop there. Like I said, there were some other turn-offs that were, or turn-outs, where you can look, and they were pretty cool too. But let's see what we got up here. You know what? I'm pretty sure I came here when I was a kid, because we lived in the southwest part of Oklahoma when I was from the time I was 10 through 17, something like that. But I don't remember this, and this is really cool, and I'm excited. That wind is strong. I was having trouble staying on my feet. And it's getting cooler. I think I'm going to put my shirt on here in a moment. Alright, I'm glad I held off and didn't take pictures or video of the way on the way up. That top was pretty epic. And I will say that they would have people hiking. I guess they are actually calling that a hike. It's right on the road. I don't recommend it, because there was only the shoulders on each side of just a 2-lane road were a few inches wide. And of course you'd probably be on the side that would be facing outward, but between the turnoffs it was still just a few inches wide, and so we were trying to get around people who were trying to walk up the mountain. The storms are rolling in. It's beautiful. I'm sure my camera would not catch it properly. Oh man, do you feel the wind? Can you see the wind hitting my car? It's pretty crazy. But I'm up here at Lake Jed Johnson, and there's a dam up here. I'm going to take a quick video of it before we drive on down and see what else we're looking at. There are stairs that go all the way to the bottom. And I think I saw a sign as I was passing. Yeah, military reservation is over here to my left. That must be part of Fort Sill. All right, it's the next day. I spent the night in a motel in Lawton, and it was kind of interesting because I knew I was going to have a long day today. Not only am I going to do some exploring around, but I got to drive back home, and there's a couple other places I want to stop on the way. So I wanted to have a good breakfast, even though it was late. You know how it is sometimes when you pack. You know how it is sometimes when we pack up and unpack and get things. Well, I slept in a bit too, so we'll just be honest about it. But I was looking for a place to eat in Lawton, and GPS was sending me up and down all these really crazy roads and residential areas, and I never did find what I was looking for there, and I thought, crap, I'll just go somewhere else. So I actually ended up in a little town called Cache, C-A-C-H-E, and I'm glad I went. It's kind of interesting because when I got off the highway to go into Cache, I didn't notice that there was a nice restaurant. Okay, I say nice. There was a bigger restaurant on the right hand side of the road, but its sign was in such bad condition I didn't even know it was an open building, so I didn't go there. And I went on down to another little place. I think it was said what it said. I'll put it on in the show notes, or I'll put it in the screen there so you can see it, because I actually took a picture of the front window. It was full. They were busy, but took care of me. Oh my gosh, it was good. I had a meat lover's omelet, and I had biscuit and gravy with sausage on it, sausage gravy. I couldn't finish it, so I got a box. I may finish it later, but it was good. Everybody was very friendly there. It was definitely a family-oriented place. There were even 3 local officers. You know, I don't know if they were sheriffs or what they were, but they were there enjoying their breakfast too, or lunch. I'm not sure. I was about 10:30 when I got there. I believe. So I'm back on the refuge, and I'm going to try to see just everything I can. And I don't see a sign of where it is on what had stopped, but I saw somebody with a walking stick, and they're taking off down there. So let's go see what we can see. It's very windy again today, and I'm sorry. I believe this is part of Fort Sill military base. That tells you how close we are to Fort Sill. And it's kind of funny, there was a sign that says that ordnance may fly overhead. Yeah. And I've noticed, this is not a particularly good slot to show you, but it looks like they do controlled burns over the winter, because the grass grows back very beautiful and green. You can see evidence of burning, but it makes it safer to get rid of all the underbrush, and looks nice in next spring. It's kind of crazy to show this to you. I'm not seeing any buffalo yet, but I'm seeing evidence of it. Looks like this is a few days old, so nothing in this area right now. And the reason I say that is because everything's free range here, and I need to keep my eyes out. Okay, my eyes open. I have found some buffalo. I'm going to get out of the car, and I'm going to see if I can get them on camera. They're at a distance, but they are there. I'm sure I'll see some more, but these are the first ones I've seen so far. This is cool. Because the wind is so wicked today, I'm telling you inside. Now I made another little stop. It's called Crater Lake. Sorry, something caught my eye and I couldn't figure out what it was, but it's just an old tree. But let's go look at Crater Lake real quick. I'm not gonna lie, this is not a good place to try to video anything with any sound, because the wind is so high. But it looks like I'm looking at the top of that over there, and there's actually somebody on top of that hill. So I'm gonna get one of my walking sticks, which I just recently bought, and I'm gonna take my camera. I don't know that I can talk to you while I'm doing it, because the wind is just too much. But I can show you. Let's get started. Okay, I'm down in a valley. I'm hoping that it has cut back on the wind enough where I can talk to you. It is very pretty down here. It took me a little bit to find the right trail, because it's very rocky. It's like big flat rocks and lots of, I don't know, it's just a lot of rocks. And so when it's rocky, there's no real indication of a trail. Go, oh yes, you should walk here. But I figured it out. You can see this. This might be a trail for path of humans walking, but as narrow as it is, it looks more like where the bison or buffalo come through. That, especially up in there where it's still tight. Interesting. I was wrong. I'm sure some bison come through here, and we did have a pretty heavy rain last night, but only footprints I'm seeing here are human. Oh well, I tried. And then, just as soon as I say that, look, bison tracks. Whoo. Okay, that was cool. I didn't go all the way to the end. I lost the trail. Well, the trail kind of went into a creek. And I'm sure I could have gone further, but I got more things to see and do, so I turned around, climbed back out. But it was cool. But now this one was difficult enough, going up and down rocks and everything, and that I appreciated my walking stick. So just telling you that, because most of I know that they state that most of the walks around here are very level, very easy, but that one was it was a little bit harder, and it was cool. All right, I've pulled up into the environmental education complex, and I have to admit it looks kind of deserted. I mean, there are vehicles here, but I think they're on the walk behind me. I'm going to check out these buildings to see if there's anything actually even going on in here, and that way, if there is, I can show it to you. Okay, I pulled off, and I was right there. I was talking to one young man. He goes, "Yeah, everything's closed," and another one was looking at the map thing, and we're trying to figure stuff out. This is another walk. I'm not going to go all the way around it, but I'm going to take you out to the fishing pier here. This is pretty cool. Decide that's buffalo in the water over there. Okay, I am going to go at least partially out here because there's a bridge. Some sort of walk up here. It was just enticing me, so I decided to go. There's different signs, various places, like the one I just passed was showing a great blue heron. Another one was showing a kingfisher, different birds that you can find here. I'm not smart enough to see any of them yet. I heard one when I was on the last walk, and I looked and looked and looked for it. Couldn't even tell you what kind it was, but it sounded really cool. And I hear something in these trees. This is cool. I know there's bluegill, and I know there's largemouth bass and turtles, great blue herons. I did not know that there's a river otter that lives around here. Oh, well, yeah, I knew about beaver too, but I didn't know about the river otter. That's cool. All right, I knew that there were campgrounds around here somewhere, and I was going to try to stay in one last night, but I'm glad I did not with the thunderstorms and the pouring rain. So there's that. You can see the prices there. Cool. A different location, I remember seeing something with drinkable water. This is a place where you can, it's a dump station for your RVs and stuff, and there's not water that you can drink. But you can see that you don't have to pay extra to dump it here because you're spending the night and you're covered. Cool. Go Longhorn right off of the road here. I hope I got that. That was too cool. I just pulled into the visitor center of the Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge, and let's go inside and see what's going on in there. Okay, it looks like they have a video that you can watch every 15 minutes, and that would be really cool, but I am needing to get down the road sometime today, so I'm probably not going to stay and watch it. Well, they got a picture of a lizard there too. I missed it. An owl up here. Look, now this is where it's showing otters. It's an interesting color, raccoon. That was so cool. I enjoyed it so much. Now it's time. I'm going to take a little trip down memory lane. I'm running out of time for the day. I got a lot of miles to go, but I'm too close to where I spent about 7 years of my life, and that was my teenage years. And you know, I want to see them again. So let's go. Okay, here is a portion of one of the wind farms I had seen from the top of Mount Scott when we were up there. They were pretty obscure because of the storm clouds that were all around us. But there's a bunch of them out here in western Oklahoma. And this question may be a little bit controversial, and I'm really sorry, but I've asked. A couple years ago, I had heard on a podcast that people were complaining how they were, these wind farms were killing birds. And I said, how? How are they killing the birds? Every wind farm I had ever seen, and I am in Oklahoma, so I've seen a few, and I've been, I saw them when they were first coming up over in eastern California and parts of Arizona and all them. The RPMs of these things never go that fast. I mean, I think I had calculated one time the fastest I'd seen was like 4 rounds per minute. I don't know. It couldn't, I mean, even if it was faster than that, how is it killing the birds? I'm always hearing the argument how it's killing the birds, but nobody can tell me how to do it. And if you can help me how it happens, that's what I'm saying. So fill me in. I don't care one way or another. Wind, solar, nuclear, whatever, we need electricity one way or another, and people can fuss about how they feel about things. Just answer my question. How's it killing the birds? This used to be Ouachita Public School. It's interesting because where all these air conditioners and stuff are all lined up, there used to be windows back there. Like the kindergarten was here, first and second grade room there, third and fourth grade room, fifth and sixth grade room, and then seventh and eighth grade room. Yes, we shared rooms. And this school was, you went to school here through 8th grade, and then you had to go to a whole nother town to go to junior high and high school. I don't know if you can see the rock in the distance. That was part of what used to be the gymnasium. Somewhere through here back in the 40s there was a high school, but it burned down and they just never rebuilt. And this house back here in the distance, I have no idea who lives there now, but I know that the superintendent of this school, Mr. Griffiths, and his family lived in that house, and this was his commute. I was looking for the community shelters that used to be here, but I guess they're not here anymore. I haven't seen them. So straight ahead up here, just a minute. This is a power plant that my dad worked in whenever I was a kid. We lived here, I was in 5th grade through 8th grade when we lived through here. This first house right here, it looks different, I think, than what it did. This is the house I lived in whenever we lived here. Yeah, they've done a lot of work and done different things to it. This was the community center. It looks like it's lost its roof a long time ago. But this is a circle. And all my friends, oh my goodness, how much it's changed. It's gotten so old, obviously. This was all not fenced. I don't remember some of those buildings. But this was all open, had a playground in it. And we rode our bicycles around and around and around this circle. And my different friends lived in different places. I think that's where the Morozics lived. I don't remember. It's been too many years. Of course, some of them. This all used to be PSO, Public Service Company of Oklahoma Housing. And I think back in the 70s they sold them off. So this was a circle that oh, there's the picnic table stuff. Oh my gosh, look. There's no lawn. This is where the sheep and that calf is. That's where the playground used to be. How interesting. Yeah, one of my friends lived in this house. Another one of my friends lived in this house. I'm sure there were more. I say friends. They're classmates too. I don't know. It's interesting how much this has changed. Apparently a whole house was taken down right here and they just made it into a lot and did something completely different with it. Look at this house. It's like complete. Oh, okay. I thought it was complete. It's empty though. Something going on with that house. And look at this. Oh my goodness. That's what's left of that place. Wow. And then some of my friends that lived in that house there too. Another empty lot there. Golly. It's interesting how some houses look decent and others look terrible. Oh my, like this house right here. I spent a lot of time in that house when I was growing up. Look at that. Wow. It's changed so much. Wow. Here's a better view of the power plant and the cooling towers. This got hit by a tornado years ago, back when after we moved to Gracemont. Oh, there's some more cooling towers there. After we moved to Gracemont, a tornado hit and really damaged this power plant. And my dad had to drive through the storm to get here. Basically lived here for 2 weeks. I had traffic behind me, but that's okay because I pull up to this other place. This bridge has been taken out and changed, but I want to walk over here. Let's look at the Ouachita River, see what it looks like. This is the Ouachita River. I've seen it when it's so low that you could actually see the bottom, and it's not so, I mean, it's always red, but sometimes you can see it, the bottom with it. You can see the turtles across the bottom. And I've also seen it where it's above the banks here. We used to do line fishing for catfish in this river when I was a kid, every once in a while. Something is floating down the river. Kind of interesting how many memories this place brings back. All right, now I'm just a few miles up the road. This is a town called Gracemont that we moved to halfway through my 8th grade year, so I was 13, and we lived in this town until I was through with my being a junior in high school. And the summer between my junior and senior years, when we move up to Claremore, and that's the region I live in now. But this, I'll show it to you. This is a church that I went to when I became baptized and saved. And it's interesting because some things look the same. I remember we used to have sack races and stuff here and did things. It was a very active church when I was coming to church here. I don't remember this building, but that means nothing. But I definitely remember this building. The sanctuary, I believe, was on this end, and the Sunday school classes were over and through here. Yep. This is neat. Well, I was going to start on one end I'm in downtown Gracemont right now, and I was going to start on one end, but I get out of the car and immediately see this, and you know what? That's exactly. I think it was open, more open whenever I lived here. And actually I can see daylight on the other side, so maybe that's not even a building anymore, but that C.H. Hertzler garage that was there whenever I was living here, and it was old then. I'm thinking this first building here, but I'm not sure, is where it used to be a little cafe. One of these buildings, and that's where I got my first job as a waitress at 13. They just using this for storage. There's costumes and stuff in there. Interesting. This First State Bank has been here. My friend and classmate Kevin, his parents owned it. Well, at the time that I was going to school, it was his mother, I believe. And I have no idea what's going on with them anymore. I'm sure the parents are long dead. It's hard to say. Down here, we may go down in there. This is Red Stevens Park. Red Stevens was a father of a girl, Cedra, that she was a very nice lady, but her dad, Red, owned, I think, fully 1/4 of Caddo County whenever I was growing up. And he donated this area down here. I think they even have rodeos and stuff in down here at Red Stevens Park. And that was a very kind and nice family, and I liked him. Nice looking post office here. Some things got upgraded. I believe, it's been several years since I've been here, but there's Gracemont City Hall. And that was here last time I was here. I don't believe it was here whenever I lived here, whenever I was a kid though. But this is downtown Gracemont. Now at the top of the hill at the end of one of the roads. These trees were not here when I was growing up. Mom and Dad built this house. This is the one that we moved into when I was 13. And that was a very solid house. And honestly, it was really nice. And then down the hill there's it was literally like a 20-foot drop down into that pasture. But yeah, Mom and Dad built this house. This is where I lived in from the time I was 13 to the time I was almost 17. Over here in this lot used to be an apartment complex. It only had 8 units, but it was an apartment complex. So that's interesting that it's all been torn down and fixed into something else. My friend, there's a road just right on the other side of the water tower there. She lived in a house just on the other side of that, so I could just run across the way there and go to her house. She and I used to sing together. We used to do a lot of Carpenter songs. I can't remember what else we used to sing together, but we hung out a lot. That was a good memory I have of being in this town for sure. James Edelin Fieldhouse. James Edelin was the superintendent, I believe, whenever I was going to school here. And this was the gymnasium where we played basketball and stuff. This is all new though, because it used to be where you had to go up. I mean, there was like a retaining wall here, and then you would go up, and the school was further back. So the retaining wall is gone, and this part of the school has been added on. I think I'm going to drive around the other side and see what else has changed. This first house here, I believe, is where Coach Wall used to live. He may, for all I know, still used to say. But yeah, this is interesting how much this has changed. Yeah, you can see where the berm is, whatever you call it. This is the old school here that I lived in, or didn't live in, where I went to school there. So that this has all been added on. That's a big addition. I think now like I said, it's been a few years since I've been down here. And I think that was there. I don't remember. I can't keep track of any of this stuff. But it has been interesting to look at all the differences and the sameness in some areas too. This is kind of interesting. All right, I have to admit that was a fun trip. I really enjoyed going to Mount Scott. I really enjoyed looking at the buffalo and the bison. You know what? I was raised to call it buffalo, and then I'm finding out the proper name for it is bison. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is, but they're bison, I guess. But it was enjoyable all the way around, and I had been wanting to go back to my hometown for a long time, or my hometowns, and kind of check things out. And I don't know, it's kind of bittersweet. It was like that was home for, that area of the world was home for like 7 years. And I have to admit, I'm glad to be here in eastern Oklahoma. It's beautiful down there too, though. It's just different, and I don't know. Life changes, and so do you. And then you look around, you go, "Wow, look at all the changes." I don't know. All right, that's all I've got for you for right now. I do want to remind you that if you have things, projects that you'd like to get out into the world, honestly, everybody's doing podcasts now. In fact, they're making some changes where you can do video podcasts, even on like different streams that you can do. Oh, I'm saying that wrong, but like iTunes and all them. When you listen to your podcast, you can actually watch it in video too, instead of just watching it on YouTube. And I think that's going to change a few things, and I'm cool with that. But Streamyard does audio only, and you can do audio and video, and I use both of them. I love using Streamyard, and I would encourage you to find your creative side and start telling people about things that you find interesting, whether it's books, whether it's paintings, whether it's cars, anything. Have a good time, talk about it, and use StreamYard, and use my link below. That's all I got for you guys. God bless. I'll see you next time.